the format is this, that we're going to take projects, and I know I've got some coming up. I've got one coming up called the Blue Tarp Project. I've got one coming up called how to create a scholarship program. We're going to do all of these things, and it's more or less to a mastermind to expand our thinking. So honestly, having a small crowd is not a bad thing because we all get to talk more, and it will be shared. Now, I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna probably you'll need to be subscribed to the channel to get them. I think I'm gonna go that way. At least maybe not on these, but all the new stuff coming up. I'm gonna be talking with entertainers. I've already got entertainers lined up that are waiting to come on board once the project starts and we can start moving around. I've got churches that I want to bring on, churches and show them how they can make it, different. I'll have interviews with cancer patients. That is going to be a real good one, because if you've gone through cancer, you know what it's like. If you haven't gone through cancer, we pray you don't, but cancer has affected so many people. I'm sure most of us know someone that it's affected. So, but anyway, that's what we got planned for now. So good to see all of you. Let me see if we got any more. Anyone wants to come on the panel, please raise your hand. And we'll be talking today, and it's a real interesting topic. It is called ocean reclamation. Is what we call it, but there's more than that to it. He has a couple other things that we might talk about if we have time. I'm sure they're going to be interesting to you. They were to me. I mean, I was kind of, just talking to him, kind of blown away some of the stuff that he shared with me, and so I'm excited about today. So we'll give about 3 more minutes, and we'll get started.
Here comes Lynn.
All right, we got Miss. I knew she would be there. You bringing her on to the panel?
And she is here.
All right.
We have to find a special plane for her.
There we go. We got Lynn on the show. There we go.
So there in 1 second. Just give me a second.
We are about ready to go. Eric Kessler, I would like you to think about your project that you want to do, because my heart is with your heart on that, and I would love to have you on the show one day. So let me know if you're interested, and we'll build something together. All right, how you doing, Lynn? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
There
you're beautiful with that red is so nice on you.
Oh, thank you.
We got a small crowd today, but that's okay. Like I said, we got a great project that we're going to be working on, and we're going to mastermind. We don't need tons of people. We just need us that want to mastermind on it and support this project. I'm sure this will go once people hear about it. They're gonna be joining. I know we got a little conflict. They scheduled Canadian meet and greet right over the top of us, and so we had to jump through some hoops and stuff, but we got it done. We're here, and we're gonna roll on. So you guys all ready? How about it, Lynn? You ready to go?
Yeah, we want to make sure people know, you attendees, if you'd like to come to the panel, raise your hand electronically, and we will be happy to do so. Raise your hands. The more, the merrier.
Make sure your country name is behind you. So we want to know where you're from.
Definitely.
All right. How about it? Let's get this show started. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? ONPASSIVE Milo show is here today. You don't want to miss a single word they say. Bringing you founders from near and far. Listen as they tell you now just who they are. Listen to the stories and how they tell. Just 3 minutes how they're doing well. telling us what it's all about today, and how they are loving that on passive way on passive. It's a here to stay on passive. There's just no better way. Listen to the ONPASSIVE Milo show, so then you can be the very first to know. ONPASSIVE, it's the here to stay. ONPASSIVE Milo show is coming your way Saturday on Passive. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, Milo, take it away. Hey, if someone knows Curtis, if you would send him a link, he's hitting me up, and I can't get him a link right now, but if someone can get him that new link, I'm sure that's what he's wanting.
I can do it. I'll do it now.
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you all for coming today. As always, ONPASSIVE Milo comes to you. The show comes to you from 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. We come to you, and that's when we're going to do our thing. And we are so happy today to have all of you here, because guess what? If you was not here, there would not be a show. That's the cool thing. You know, it's all about you. It's about us as an ONPASSIVE team. You know, we're all in this thing together. And I'm telling you, it is exciting times. It's very exciting times. What's going on? And if we only realize, I think, you know, when Ash says, I don't know, did any of you listen to him on Thursday night? I think he was on, and he just, man, he was on fire. And what he told us was incredible. And when you think about where it is, you know, I get in my mind, you know, okay, well, we can do this, we can do that, this will work. And then all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, this will work too, and this will work. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, and he always says, hey, whatever you're dreaming about, it's not big enough, you know. And with the format, like I had said earlier is, you know, we want to take a project and we want to say, okay, this is a great project. What do you plan on doing with it? How can we help you? How can we help you fund this project if it's something you're interested in or whatever? And I'll tell you, I do believe that we're going to be able to help multiple projects, you know, and everyone's going to have different passions that they have, you know, but we're going to be able to help them all just by, you know, we can we can put a position under it, and we can start building underneath that or whatever on the, you know, even if we build ourselves, just putting ourselves under it, it funds that project. It is a great thing. It's an incredible thing. But before we get any further, I would like to say, Miss Marcianne Himmelbooth, thank you so much for coming on and helping out. Go ahead and say a couple words.
Thank you so much, Milo. The state is very, very high. I am super excited. I mean, there's no time in my life now that I'm not just dancing at any moment, because you know what? We are going high and hot. And I'm just happy it's another Saturday. I'm here to listen to all from Milo's show. It's going to be a great show. And I just wanted to let us know that Angeline is here. I think it's better for her to be the one bringing the people to the panelists. She knows how to do that more than us. So we don't have to double click. And some people will be declined without knowing that we click twice. So thank you so much, Milo. And I am happy to be here. Another Saturday. Let's go. Let's have the show.
Let's do it. We're excited about the project we got coming up. You know, and anyone that don't catch it now will be able to catch it later on the replay. So it's going to be good. Mr. John Barilla, come on down and talk to us, brother.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Milo Show today. We're a little light-handed, I guess, but a couple of my guardians are here today. I see Bruce and Roy are already here. Of course, Dave is here, but he's not being a guardian today. He's going to be a guest. And I think we're excited to hear what he has to say. So that's all I have to say. And welcome, everybody, and I'll see you later.
Absolutely. Thank you. So who else do we have as guardians, John?
Right now, we've got Bruce and Roy Davies, Bruce Gerstein and Roy Davies. I might have missed somebody else that might be in there already, but I'll check that out and see who's here.
Bruce, come on down and say a couple words to us, brother. Thank you so much for your time and your help. You're always on the show, brother, and I appreciate it. Bruce, are you here?
Yes,
Should be here. I just brought him in a little
yeah,
while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got in. I just got in my house. I wanted to make sure I come see the Milo show. And
All
help them, and help them with the as a guardian. I'm excited because what we're going to hear today, I've heard Roy speak before, and he's very excited. It's very exciting what he's going to tell us, David. I think what he's going to tell us about today. His project is amazing, and it's going to blow people's minds. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he's got to say.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you for always showing up and helping us out, brother. And Roy Davies, come on down and say a couple words if you like. We appreciate you.
Yeah, hey, good evening, Mel. Thanks for calling me out, brother.
All right.
I don't really have too much to say on the topic right now, but when we get on into it and I see what's going on, and I'll raise my hand and bring on something to say. And I just want to say hello to everybody here, and I'm just here trying to chat and check the chat and all that. So
Perfect. Well,
thank
hey,
you for bringing me on.
we appreciate all you do for us, Roy. You guys keep us running lean and clean, man. That's good, man.
Okay.
All right, then.
Wonderful.
Next up, we got the Energizer Bunny, who's every place. Miss Lynn Nakamoto, come on down and say something to us.
I am so glad to be here. I think this topic, the reclamation topic, is really very interesting, and I'm looking forward to learning about that topic. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad we get to hear from Dave Rosalsky very soon. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lynn. And with no further ado, I'll tell you what, we're all excited to hear what this guy has to say. Like I said, I talked to him a little bit before and went through some stuff with him, and it was exciting stuff. And so with no further ado, Mr. David Rosalsky, come on down and talk to us, brother. The floor is yours.
Hello, family. My name's David Rosalsky, and I am your friend. Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about the ocean. I'm a certified rescue diver. I'm kind of close to it. My dad, rest his soul, was a golfer, and he used to tell me all the time that the Earth is 3/4 water hazard, and it seems to be the only garbage can that we have. Now that, the Earth is a living, breathing creature, it warms up, it cools off, we go through thaws and ice ages. I've always, every time for the last 30 years since I've been going diving, I'm always cleaning up. Now that, ecology is fashionable and everybody's all, let's pay attention to it or we're going to blow up. A lot of people have been coming up with some really, really great ideas. I saw this one that really inspired me. It was a small ship. It was designed for canals over in Europe somewhere, with the aid of nets and stuff that goes around, and it was picking up the trash, cleaning up the canals. Well, we all know, we've all seen, out in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of where the tide is in the dead areas, it seems to be where all the floating trash collects. I was thinking, after I had that dream bigger, I decided, yeah, okay, I'm going to dream bigger. But what I've been seeing seemed to be pretty insignificant. So I was doing a little bit of research and thinking, and I was thinking, we could do something similar, come up with maybe a tanker size or one of the small aircraft carrier size ships. We can design the front to open up so that we can go scoop it up, kind of like the lawnmower going through the yard. Let's scoop it up, scoop it up, scoop it up. We're going to get a lot of trash. We're going to get a lot of water. I figured we could take the water as it goes through. I'm trying to figure out a way that maybe we can compress the water and shoot it out the back to help with propulsion to aid in energy. Along with that, I figured along the body of the ship, You know, we could run a bunch of little vortex generators to create electricity to help run the ship. We're going to have a lot of trash. A lot of that trash is just floating plastic. And I think it was Australia or Sweden. I was watching this thing where they had this little setup facility where they reclaim plastics and turn it back into this black gooey ooze, which is kind of like the base product that they make all the plastics out of. So you can basically take it, turn it back into that, and make brand new vital plastics that can be used for a long time. Well, there's a lot of other stuff that's floating out there that we won't be able to do that with. Well, we can, instead of holding that, you can make biodiesel out of virtually everything. So we can take all that trash and we can make biodiesel out of it so that we can produce our own fuel while we're out there to stay out there longer. And I figure if we leave empty, when we're out there, we're picking up the trash and we're turning it into this ooze. I was also thinking, you know, we could possibly turn it into things. And Milo gave me this awesome, amazing idea. You know, why don't you turn it into, you know, the cord for 3D printing? Well, that would be perfect. We get a 3D printer on there. We can print spools. We can print boxes to carry them in. And as we're making the 3D filament, we can just wind them on these spools, put them in. We go out empty, come back full with brand new product. And the ocean's a lot cleaner. I figured while we're out there, I was thinking about desalinization, small desalinization project, you know, so we can get some potable water, you know, help clean the air. And I figured while we're doing that, one of my projects is scrubbing carbon. So we can start pulling carbon out of the ocean as well. With that, if, you know, after a while, we start saving that stuff up, we can turn that carbon into other products and with other great properties. They're great fire retardant stuff. Let's see, the transport. And along with this, I was thinking about it, you know, and we're just thinking about the surface of the ocean. That's all we're cleaning up. You know, when I scuba dive, there's a lot of trash on the bottom. You know, I was watching a thing about the Mariana Trench. You know, there's a lot of our garbage down there. So I was thinking about another vehicle that I want to design and build, which is going to be kind of a submarine / ship / rescue platform. You know, there's a lot of ships and submarines all over the place that go down. You know, they need rescue or, you know, salvage. We'll be able to do that. And I figured with the submarine part, you know, if we're in the middle of doing a project somewhere, maybe some underwater farming for the people or the animals I want to do marine biology and start studying, you know, all the everything underwater, because we don't know everything that's under the water. So I figured, hold on a second, I just got lost here. Give me half a second. Yeah, okay, so we can do the lab sub as far as ship, you know, service in the ocean. And can you use it to clean the trash process, underwater farming? Okay, another major thing is like artificial reefs. Everybody's taking their garbage and throw it in the ocean. You know, you're taking this decommissioned ship and making it all sound all altruistic when we're just getting rid of our garbage. And that's not really good because, you know, the seawater with the steel causes electrolysis. It messes with the sharks and other aquatic lives, you know, so that's not good either. So, you know, we're throwing concrete in there and everybody's making these man-made statues and, oh, we're going to, you know, be all altruistic about it. Well, that's garbage. We're throwing our garbage away into the ocean. Why not with the submarine? Why don't we go to the areas below the habitable zone? There's a habitable zone where there's life. And below that, it's too dark. There's not a lot of light, but there is a lot of natural materials that's native to the area. Let's go down there. Find some that doesn't have any life on it. Let's pick it up and bring it up into the habitable zone, and we'll arrange it there. And then we can start doing some underwater farming to seed it for the animal life that'll come. They'll have a place to come, they'll eat, and they can create a new home in their natural environment instead of our trash. As far as, you know, that's just my opinion. I'm tired of everybody throwing everything in the ocean and, you know, they think it's just going to go away. Well, it doesn't. You know, and I'm looking to get like a quantum computer because I want to be able to knead it to help me design this for strength and durability, because one of my goals is, we don't know anything about the ocean. I'd like to be able to get us down to the Mariana Trench for extended periods. Let's study the life down there. You know, we've got all kinds of sea life and animals down there that can help us with natural camouflage. It can help us with dealing with pressures at depth. You know, how can we create something that, you know, can go down there at depth and survive? We can create, you know, by studying the animals down there, we can create new craft that'll be a lot, you know, more useful. You know, I think Elon's got it right. You know, we need to be a multi-planet species, but I think he's going in the wrong direction. I think we have to master inner space so that we can go further safely out into outer space. You know, once we master what's in here, we're going to be pretty well equipped, you know, to deal with a lot more than we can out there now. You know, we can study underwater archaeology with this platform, you know, and with this submarine that I'm talking about, I'd like it to be able to split off. That way, while you're working on one area, you know, if it's too deep and it's going to start causing problems, part of it can, you know, separate, kind of like the Enterprise in Star Trek, you know, how the body separates from the saucer. Okay, well, it can go up and it can float at a safer area so that the divers can stay down for extended periods, go down to work, come back up. Or if anything's going on, you know, a submarine goes down and there's people going to die, well, we can take that, leave the base part there for people to work on, and we can go do the rescue operation, bring them back to get the people and bring them home, you know, get people back safely, as well as go down and use it to, you know, save cargo for sunken ships. You know, everybody's writing things off. Insurance companies are getting, you know, paying out the gazach, and everybody's rates are going up. Well, we can do, you know, we can do the, you know, do that stuff too. Let's see, hold on a second. I'm almost done here. I'm running through this stuff real quick. Artificial reef farming. You know, that's pretty much it for now. I mean, I go in deeper, you know, stuff a lot more technically. I'm trying to design the skirt to be able to set down on the ground so that people can go down and work safely, and not have big animals swim by and maybe eat them or thrash them up or stuff like that. You know, as well as be able to come down over the top of like a submarine and create a safe area that we can transfer people. You know, ultimately what I'd like to do is get like a network of, you know, 4 of the ships that I can separate, you know, spread out all over the planet and just keep them going. And maybe 6 subs, set them up, you know, 1 in each corner around the equator, and as far north as we can go legally, and as far south as we can go legally, because we can't go to the poles. And that way we can patrol around there. So we'll be able to do global farming for people, and, you know, reseed for the feed, the sea life. You know, we'll be able to do all this underwater mapping that we've never been able to do before. We'll be pretty much everywhere. So if there's an emergency, it won't be, you know, crazy time frames to get there. So we'll be able to get them help quickly. And, you know, as we're cleaning up the trash, we'll be creating new products that we can bring back and either use ourselves or, you know, sell to help other people, you know, use all those funds. But that's pretty much what I got. Oh yeah, and also one more thing is, one of the things I want to do is specialty support crews for like wildfires, for hurricanes, for tsunamis, you know, all these natural disasters, earthquakes. You know, you would be able to get there to the shore area and start giving aid and shelter and medical and food, you know, to these people right away as well. You know, as well as be like a nice big platform where we can get them some medical help at the same time. But that was pretty much my thought about that. So if anybody has any questions or not.
I see that I'm muted. Dave, that is a huge dream. It's a big dream, but guess what? ONPASSIVE is up to the big dreams. You know, that's what we can do, and we can come together as a group and do this. Now, a couple of things that I love what you're saying about it all, but I just want to talk to you for a few minutes. So what you're saying is we're going to get some underground food stuff. Are you talking about we're going to build like a fish farms, and we're going to lobsters, and I'm not a seafood guy.
Well, no, not as far as fish farms. I'm thinking about as far as like we can grow underwater food for us as well as, you know, farm sea life. But I was thinking, you know, a lot of aquatic food, you know, mostly for, you know, like a lot of people use sushi, and I don't cook. You know, when it comes to food, I make a mean set of reservations, and that's about it. But I know there's a lot more than just fish that we eat out of the ocean. So we can farm that and get that going, as well as in the different areas, start farming local foods that the local animal populations would eat, you know, with the crabs, the shrimp, you know, everything from plankton up to whales. You know, we can try to, you know, keep the food chain going to increase the animal populations, because of overfishing. You know, we're killing everything. We're eating everything, eating the planet out of house and home. You know, so I thought we could do that.
So I would like, let's expand our minds a little bit here.
Yeah.
The world is short on fish, especially if you go to China, you go to the Asian countries. They're dying for fishing, okay, for fish. What about, we've got this thing, why can't we create a fish farm or something like that where we can supply, you know, because there's a demand for it.
Oh yeah, no, when I did my talk about the village with Pat, one of the things we were talking about was in the greenhouses was we were going to do aquaponics and grow our own fish, just for that, for us to eat and for other people to eat. Because nowadays they say, if you know, well, for the last 10, 15 years, they've been saying if you eat fish more than once a month, you're putting your health at risk because of all the mercury and pollutants that the fish have absorbed. You know, there are no safe fish anymore. So what we want to do is see if we can actually find some and then just start cultivating those and start giving some people some healthy fish. I mean, I don't eat fish, but there's a lot of people who do. It's really good food. It's basic nutrition for the planet. You know, it's one of the biggest food staples we've ever had, and we should try to make that safe again.
Yeah, so if we build a fish farm or whatever, we can change that environment, right? So that they're not getting the mercury, they're not getting that stuff, correct?
Yeah.
So
that's why I don't want to do it in the ocean. That's why I was talking about like at the villages, because we can set up, you know, take 20, 30, 50 acres, whatever we want, and turn it into a hatchery for healthy fish.
Yeah.
You know, because we're using the ocean as a garbage can. We're getting radioactive pollution in there. We're getting mercury. We're getting all kinds of poisons, chemicals, you know, and it's just not good. So we're going to have to either clean the ocean completely, which is a monumentous undertaking. I don't even think everybody in ONPASSIVE could fix, you know, or we have to start producing it ourselves. And I think producing it ourselves, you know, here, there, you know, scattered throughout the country / world, you know, I think we can address that pretty quickly. You know, the hardest thing is going to be finding a clean, healthy, viable fish.
Yeah.
You know, other
So
than that,
I think over time, if you put them in that environment and they start recreating themselves, they'd get healthier, 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 healthier.
Yeah, they'll definitely clean themselves up. Yeah.
Yeah. So if this is a much bigger project than ocean reclamation, then we're talking about, take fish out. We're going to build these ponds or whatever where people will be able to come and get fish or whatever. We can sell the fish out of there, and we don't have to worry about the pollutants. Is that correct?
Correct. I mean, we can even have areas for like the sport fishermen who just got to catch their own food. Okay, well, you go throw it in a stock pond, catch your own food, whatever you like. You know what I mean? If you want to do that route too. Some people are just OCD. They have to catch their own fish, which is fine.
Oh, hey, and that's awesome. I mean, this stuff is really awesome. Now, let me go back to, we're cleaning up the ocean, and we're talking about a boat that the front goes down. Is that correct? And then what, the trash is brought up on a conveyor, or are you?
Yeah. As we're going, it would wash in, and there would be a conveyor to pull all of that up, and then it would go into a separator to separate, you know, the viable plastics from, you know, the papers and the cloths and everything else that we can't turn back into, you know, that first stage goo for plastics. And we can bring that to another. That's why I want such a huge ship, is because there's going to be a lot of people on there. We're going to have amenities for people, you know, places to eat, sleep, etc. But we're also going to have areas to make the biodiesel, to turn the plastics into the goo, to turn the goo into plastics, you know, and then extrude them out. So we're going to have it. It's going to be basically like a floating factory. The front will just kind of open up like an observatory, you know. It'll just kind of open up and we'll go through, it'll do its thing, and then when it's done and we're ready to go home, it'll close back up, so you know it can cut through the water better. But I figured it'd be like a combination vacuum lawnmower, just go back and forth across the ocean until we get all the trash, or
Right.
until we load up with new product and we can't carry it anymore, we have to go unload and then we'll come back.
You could also maybe make something like a front end loader or whatever that's out of a screen. So when you went, you just scooped it up, flip it up into,
Sure.
you know, a thing. But then you're also creating jobs. You're creating jobs, correct? Because you're gonna put someone up there to separate the plastics and stuff. There'll probably be someone throwing maybe, hey, the plastics go this way, the paper goes that way, this. You know,
Yeah, exactly. We're going to need crews and crews to do both ships, because I mean, I'm not going to be there. I'm busy doing other stuff. You know, I'm going to be working on the villages and the prosperity centers, and I've got probably 14 other projects that are all intertwined together. You know, so I'm going to be doing other stuff. But one of my main things is I want to create as many good jobs as possible. It's not, you know, here's a $5 an hour job, show up and, you know, give me your soul. I want to, you know, one of the last job I had before, you know, COVID hit, and I just said, okay, I'm in ONPASSIVE. I'm done with the hamster wheel. One of my foremen was really cool. My dad was sick. He was getting ready to die. He was in the hospital, just had a blood clot in his brain. I was like, look, I know I just started the job last week, but I got to go. And he said, don't worry about it. You know, this job isn't your life. This isn't reality. We're here so that you can live your life in reality. So don't worry about it. You got family stuff, go take care of it, and your job is fine. I was like, okay, great. You know, so I want to create jobs like that where we're a family, where we're loyal to each other, not like all these businesses. Oh yeah, come here, give me 19 years of your life and I'm going to let you go a year before retirement. You know, I want to take care of people. Like Ash said, dream bigger. The minute he said that and everything started figuring, you know, sinking in on what we have in ONPASSIVE, I said, well, I can really do this now. With OBLESS, I can more than do this, you know, with everybody else that's involved. We can do this as a team. You know, I can't do it myself, but, you know, with everybody else and everybody's input, and we get OBLESS and we get, you know, really rally around it, we get a lot of really big things going, you know.
I love it. So let me ask you a couple more questions. So the paper, you're going to put that on the thing. It's going to go, because there's trash and stuff that probably could be put in an incinerator and burnt up, correct? Is that what you're planning on doing out there? Or?
Well, kind of, but no. You know, if there's anything that's still decent that we can salvage and reuse paper-wise, you know, we would do it. But I think everything that wouldn't be plastic by the time we picked it up in the ocean would be pretty well beaten and spent and not really worth much as far as any kind of useful material. So I figured that would just go into the bin and become biodiesel so that we can, you know, go around and stay out longer.
Oh, I got you. So you're going to turn the paper and stuff into biodiesel.
Yeah, anything that we can't, you know, revitalize and turn back into good new materials again. Yeah, you know, instead of putting it in a landfill, we might as well use it.
Awesome. Well, one of the things that I love is 3D printing. You know, I love 3D printing. So when you're out there on the ship, what I envision could happen is you could be out there and you could be bringing this plastic in, turning it into something for 3D printing, which 3D printing can print a lot of small parts or even bigger parts for cars and stuff like that. But I would think, you know, if you could do the smaller parts, you print a bunch of smaller parts, even if they were crated up, you could have a helicopter come out and just unload it for you, you know, and you'd be able to stay out there longer.
Yeah, so you mentioned 3D printing. I was just thinking about making bricks, you know, that or pellets, but I was leaning towards bricks because it would be less airspace. We'd be able to get, you know, more material per square foot, you know.
Good idea. So you would actually just make it into prints, ship it back here where it would go to a 3D printing factory and they can make whatever they wanted out of. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
originally that was my idea, but then when you said, 3D printing wire, I was like, wow, the boat breaks down in the middle of the ocean, we got a piece that cracked. Okay, well, we can take some plastic and way over engineer a piece so that we can get back to port and get a metal one.
Yeah.
We can keep ourselves going, make whatever we need on site if, that's what the case calls for.
Right.
So
I think
we'd be able to use it just to keep ourselves going as well. So I think the 3D wire would be great because, we can print the spools out of the plastic right there on site. So we don't have to bring anything with us. When we get enough spools, we can print crates to carry them in, and then we just keep printing, or making the wire. And that stuff winds up real tight. So air to material ratio is still pretty dense. There's not a lot like versus pellets, with all those little pellets, there's billions and billions of tiny little air spaces. That's a lot of wasted space. At least on the spools, that can be minimized, and fill it up with material that we pulled from the ocean. So, we can maximize our trips pulling out of the, everything out of the ocean.
right.
And bring viable materials back if possible.
Yeah, you could bring the spools back or whatever. Or like I was saying, with these 3D printers, you can get them that are real small that can print parts. So say if there's a part that is needed, and I mean they print anything just about, but say there was a little part that was needed, you could actually produce them out on the ocean. And
we'll make like 1,000 or 2,000 of them at sea and bring them home.
Right, guys are out there, and you're giving them a job because you would have the place. And the truth is, a lot of people would love to go out on the ocean for 2-3, just to be out there. It would be a passion of theirs, and they're doing something that's great. I really like this project, and what I would say, on the project, personally, what I would think would be is let's set up Dave Rosalsky sets up this is ocean reclamation or something, and then we all come underneath and we can sign up under it and start funding. Because remember, if I come there and I give you $200, okay, it's not the same if I go there and I say, hey, I'm going to buy a spot under it, and then I start anybody that's interested in reclamation, I say, hey, you should jump on this, you should fund this. Look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to create fish farms. We're going to create a production. We're going to create a manufacturing plant out in the middle of the ocean to bring parts back to the U.S. Or it doesn't even, forgive me for saying U.S., be any place in the world. We can bring parts wherever they're needed. Whoever needs it, we can get them quick. In other words, when we were having a thing, with the pandemic and they were looking for masks and stuff, all of a sudden we could set up, we're out in the ocean, we're collecting plastic and everything else. Why not build it into something like that? What about making medical things that are, that are all of this stuff, we could do out in the ocean, and we could, once you package it up, put it in crates, you can get a lot of things in there. You get a helicopter out there, he just lifts it up into the helicopter, flies it back, seems like a great idea to me.
Yeah, man, we got to talk more about this. I like the way you're thinking, man. This is cool.
Yeah. All right.
That's the thing with all my ideas, man. Anybody got any ideas? This isn't just, a me show. This is the world. ONPASSIVE is going to take care of me. I'm doing all of this to help people. I'm not getting anything out of it. So anybody's got any ideas, throw them in, because I'm going to put all this stuff up in bless for anybody anywhere that wants to use it. Everything that I do, I'm just putting up. If you got ideas to improve it or add to it, more power to you. You're only helping everybody.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, and personally, this is why I started this format, is because I want people to start hearing about these things and figuring out, hey, where do I want to go? Because honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. I think it's going to come to us quicker than we think, and we're going to be abundant with it. Now, how better is it to help someone doing a project like you to fund that project, and it helps the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Now it helps
Yeah.
the world. But not only does it help the whole world, guess what? It helps you too, because if you put a spot there and you fund it, now you got more money coming in that you can keep funding. You can keep buying another spot, and build this thing where that honestly, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Self-funding and how it works. And we have to start thinking different than we're thinking right now, because things are not going to be like they are now. When ONPASSIVE comes about, we have to start thinking different, because we won't be thinking like we're thinking now, because guess what? We will have abundance. We'll be able to help out. We'll be able to do things we never could do before. That's one of the beautiful things about ONPASSIVE. So if anyone else has a hand to raise, we're ready to open it up for some questions and answers. And between me and Dave, we'll get her done for you. So I'm looking for hands right now. Dave, I love this project. I really do. I think I never even thought about it before, ocean reclamation, but that's a big world out there, man. And, and you're talking about, you go down there with these submarines and stuff, and all of a sudden you're marking the places and you find ships and you find gold and you find all this stuff that's down there.
Theology, we can get stuff back to country of origin or destination to whomever owns it, make that part, it's like, because like I said, ONPASSIVE's taking care of me. I'm not a gold hunter. I'm not trying to make my fortune. So whatever I find, that's world history. That belongs to the world. So I'm going to make sure that it gets to the country of origin or destination and make its way into, a museum so we can all learn from it and appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I think, with ONPASSIVE, that is the thing that's going to happen. There's not going to be, hopefully, not a lot of greedy people. We all have what we need, and we don't even need anymore. So why are we greedy? And all of a sudden, I think when that happens, it takes away a lot of the wars. It takes the bullets out of the guns of the guys who say, hey, that one did this and this one did this. And half the time, you don't even know if they did it or whatever, but they try to get people against each other and fighting against each other. And it's just not a good thing. We just need to learn to live on this earth and love each other. That is the key, I believe.
Yeah, the way I see it, Ashley's showing us a new way to live.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be the reset that Soros and Schwab and all those, globalists weren't seeing or counting on. I think we're going to, the meek are going to inherit the earth. We're going to take the world back. And this is going to finally turn into a place where, brotherly love and fellowship, we're all helping each other. And we're going to start making leaps and bounds. I really believe it.
I do too. And it will be worldwide. All right. We got a hand up, and it's none other than Mr. John Barilla. Come on down, John, and talk to us.
Hi. I was just wondering about location. Is this exclusively, this whole idea of project, is this exclusively an ocean project, or
well, I guess ships and they're going to be
a little bit about location and something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we can have land-based facilities, but that's not going to clean up the ocean. I mean, it's going to be a ship and a submarine, so they kind of have to be. They're going to be too big for like lakes or canals and things like that. Besides, like I said, over in Europe somewhere, I heard that there's already people working on ships that are that small that'll go up into the canals and into the lakes and the ponds and the beaches and stuff inland. What I'm talking about, would be pretty much exclusively the 7 Seas.
But it could be changed, right? If this goes well, we can.
We can scale it and make it smaller, so we can do that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So even if there's someone else working on it, hey, let's get behind them. If they're good people, let's get behind them. Let's fund that thing, but know that, we're in it for changing the world. We want to change the world.
Exactly. I mean, I would love to be able to go over to the Dead Sea and figure out how to take a lot of the salt out of that and make that viable water for people. That would do wonders for the area,
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know that Leon last week talked about, making, ways to get water from one place to the other, you know, and maybe this has something with that, you know, that we could some way transfer water from one place to where it's needed, you know, because it seems like a lot of people getting flooding and other people are so dry, you know, and if we could get it.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking about, was maybe getting some old rocket engines, leftover rocket engines, and filling them up and doing some cloud seeding, you know, get everything with some water and get it all vaporized so it can get up in the air, and then it'll come back down and start hydrating the ground. It'll start cooling the area, and we'll start getting more green, start to creeping back, you know, into where it used to be. Because from what I understand, you know, the deserts in Africa for thousands of years haven't been there for thousands and thousands of years. They've only been there for about 500 to 1,000 years since things shifted and the water dried up. So, you know, maybe if we can go in there, start hydrating the area and dig our way back over to the ocean, we might be able to even reclaim that. And that would open up millions of acres of, you know, open area that we can grow food, wildlife, people, homes. You know, we could do all kinds of stuff with all that land. I mean, we could do it the same thing here in the Midwest, where we got all the desert too. Turn a lot of that into, you know, it's good, you know, flat land. We can turn it into fertile farmland and feed the world.
Wow, interesting stuff. All right, we got another hand up, Mr. Bruce Gerstein. You always got something good to say. Come on down, brother.
Thank you, Milo. And
Can't
thank
see
you,
you, Bruce.
I hope you can you hear me okay?
We can hear you okay. We can only see your
Good,
mouth.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm going to try to speak louder and with a wide open mouth so I can become more clear. David, your project is, as you says for sure, God bless you for it. I remember seeing when I worked with Jacques Cousteau, his grandson was a little boy. And in his adult life, he started talking about all the garbage in the Pacific. And he displayed it. It was so sad to see how much ocean we see that is so filthy today and toxic. And yes, a lot of things have to be cleared up. One thing when we were with Dr. Bill spoke about yesterday, he talked about collaborations. And it sounds to me like in your project, you'll be looking for a lot of people like Leon and other people involved with water and a lot of different ideas all to come together. Because one of the things about Milo's show and Chris's Bless show and all the shows are going to be coming more and more about discussions about how do we do things, which means we need a lot of great, brilliant minds to work together on those things. So I'm thinking, have you thought about reaching out to some of the people involved in ONPASSIVE who've already spoken on some of these things?
Can you, I didn't understand the question.
Yeah, that's my talking. My question is, when it comes to what you're doing, it sounds like collaboration is the key to a lot of this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's, you know, there's no me and team. You know, it's going to take all of us. You know, it's going to take, you know, people with ideas. It's going to take welders. It's going to take engineers. It's going to take cooks. It's going to take janitors. I mean, we're going to have to go, you know, the whole spectrum. You know, like the ship, we can build in a regular traditional shipyard, you know, and be able to put a lot of work to get, you know, a lot of people to work there. They get paid well. But, you know, for the submarine idea, I'm talking about something huge, you know, because we're going to have a lot of labs, marine biology, engineering, infirmary. We're going to have, you know, just so many things. I'm talking about something that's going to be the size of a large scale aircraft carrier as a diameter, you know, because I'd like to do it, you know, nice big round saucer shaped kind of like dome establishment, you know, so that we can have a good amount of area, plenty of space. And, you know, it's basically going to turn into like that village that Pat and I were talking about, but underwater on a little smaller scale, you know, because we're going to want to be self-contained. You know, a lot of the scientists are going to want to be down there, not in perpetuity, but for a long time for a lot of these studies. You know, they're going to want to study, you know, the mating habits, the life habits, the sleeping habits. You know, how do these animals survive at great pressure? Why are some of them transparent and some of them are solid black? You know, so we got all these different things. You know, what kind of medicines can we get from them? You know, what kind of stealth technology can we pick up? You know, there's just all.
I know that even the shark population is getting very low. People don't understand that shark. None of these species are here forever, and unless we take care of the earth, a lot of them will disappear, including man. So we have to look at all of that, and it's going to take more than one ship, that's for sure, more than one platform to do all this. But, so again, my question was, when I first asked, have you contacted any of the people yet that you've heard doing some of these things in ONPASSIVE?
No, I haven't contacted them yet. I'm still finishing my concepts. And, you know, a lot of it I can figure out myself, but like the major structural and, you know, how the ship's going to go together and come apart, you know, the skirt I was talking about, the ship opening up. I mean, I need engineers, you know, that's not something I'm qualified to design. No,
Well, I write songs, and Milo can testify that you can write a better song when you collaborate. You may have an idea, but it will get bigger if you help people, if you invite people to do it with you. Because it's very important to understand how much unity matters.
yeah, I
Unified
mean, I've
goal.
already formed a company to do it. So now it's just a matter, once ONPASSIVE starts and I get funding, now, you know, like Ash, I want to go out and I want to start doing some head hunting and find these scientists and engineers and tradesmen that I'm going to be needing. You know, because they're going to have a lifetime job with me as far as doing all this stuff, you know. But I'm going to need a lot of help. Like I said, I got the idea. There's a lot of stuff that I can figure out. But, you know, 95 to 99.5% of it, I'm not going to be able to figure out myself. No. So I'm definitely going to hire professionals or, you know, get other volunteers who have those experiences and backgrounds.
Hey,
You know, this
Dave,
is all my projects are definitely collaboration. They're bigger than one person. When Ash said dream bigger, my brain exploded. You know, so I mean, like I said, I've got about 16 projects and they're all got subcategories and, you know, they're all tied together one way or another.
You know, when Jacques Cousteau came up with the outflow because they didn't want to have the cables anymore, he had the idea, but he didn't have the ability to create it himself. He had the idea. So what you need is the people who can create, just like Ash needed all the text and hyperdata, because Ash had the thought and he created. So a lot of it comes down to finding those minds.
all
To
right,
get
guys.
all this together. Thanks a lot, David.
Hey, Bruce and Dave. All right, let's think about what was just said, okay? And let's change let's think of it in a different way, if you don't mind. Okay, what ONPASSIVE has created, it has created a platform for us to collaborate together to help whoever we want because it uses AI. All right, so if Dave puts in a spot and there's people out there that are interested in it, they come to that spot, and to fund it, all they do is they buy a spot underneath it. Now, all they're doing is they're saying, hey, I agree with you and I like it. And now all of a sudden, guess what? That spot is going to they start bringing in people that they know that will work. And all of a sudden, we start building this big thing. We get engineers, we get this one, we get all of this stuff is going to be done for us. So I think we're kind of overthinking it right now. I think all we need to do is get that spot in there, let people know, just like we're doing right now. That's the key. Once that happens, and even though right now it's just us on here, you know, and I look and there's 130 people on here, okay? But guess how many people's gonna see this down the road? Billions of people will see this because you know why? They're gonna say, man, I'm really interested in ocean, ocean reclamation, or I'm interested in, you know, submarine work, or I'm interested in this and that. And guess what they're going to find? They're going to find Dave Rosalsky talking on the ONPASSIVE Milo show, and they're going to come there and they're going to be able to build this. Do you see how big this is and how fast it will build? And so I don't think we, you know, Alex always says dream bigger. And I believe this is what he's thinking, that, you know, we don't realize what's in store for us, but we don't need to think like we used to. We have to go to a new way of thinking. We have to think of, okay, how is this going to, so now all of a sudden Dave Rosalsky's on and Bruce Gerstein comes on because he likes ocean, and Milo comes on because he likes ocean, and all these people are starting to fund this account. Well, now Dave can do whatever he wants to, you know, to find that engineer, to find that, you know, submarine operator, to find, you know, the shipyards that are going to build it, to find the metal yards that are going to supply the shipyard. You see how it all works and flows together, and it's all because of AI. That's what we have to remember. AI is going to change our world because it's artificial intelligence. It's much smarter than we are. It will find people for us. Does that make sense, Bruce?
Absolutely, Milo.
Okay.
Thank you for keeping us back on track. That was a great point.
Yeah. So, you know, and like I said, when you give money away, personally, I doubt that I'll be giving much money away. Now, I'll be giving a ton of positions or helping people get positions or whatever, you know, or buying positions under projects that I want to work on to bring other people under, you know, and I think that's the beauty of it, because as you build, you know, and it goes back, I remember for a while I've been, someone, I don't even remember who said it on one of the shows in the chat, said something about how many oranges will an orange create? And, you know, when you start to think about that, that's a pretty big thing. You know, when you think about an orange, not a seedless one, but a regular orange, how many seeds are in an orange? I don't know. Is there 24? So let's pick a number and say there's 24 of them. Well, guess what? You take one orange and you don't have 24 more oranges. You got 24 more orange trees. Now you take those and you plant those. This is what ONPASSIVE is like. It will just expand and expand and expand. And I think it's gonna blow our mind how fast it actually works and how fast we'll be able to get anything done. So I don't think anyone wanting to do a project, if they have a project in mind, they come on a show like this, or they get it out there where people see it. And remember, pretty soon, ONPASSIVE will see it. So if you put a project out on Old Blast, all of a sudden, boom, 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 people start buying a place under it or whatever. Now they're not just giving a person a fish, they're actually buying them a fishing pole, showing them where the pond is, and they can do their own fishing. So I think it's going to be great. All right. Good enough, Bruce? All right. Let's move on. David, do you have anything else to say before we move on to the next guy? All right, let's move on to Roy Davies. Come on down, Roy. David, you got your hand up, but I don't see you. Can you unmute yourself? I don't know if he's having technical difficulties there, or there he is. You're muted, Dave.
It just popped on my screen. I was trying to unmute.
Dave,
okay, yeah. Thank you, Milo, for bringing me on again. You kind of smashed my little words I had to say to David just then, but I'm gonna say it anyway though. So, David, that's a good thing what you're doing about cleaning the waters and everything with the big ships and stuff like that. You know, cause a lot of people, you know, around the world, they do fishing and crabbing and all this sorts of stuff, and then the water done got polluted, and they give people viruses and stuff now. So, you know, we'll cut way down on a lot of that stuff. But when you have these big ships, you know, collecting all this, garbage and trash out of the water and goes into a big container and compresses it and runs it through and cleans the extra water to go back out into the ocean. When the containers get full with the ship, because I drove garbage truck for 25 years, and some places we have here in Florida, we have these big incinerators. Like whenever your containers on the ship get full, you have something like a big trough built, wherever the ship goes close to land, where all the stuff that you dump can go over in a conveyor, goes into a big dump truck or whatever and get hauled to the incinerator. And what they do, they dumps it inside this big shed, the big barn, and they got like front end loaders that pushes this garbage up a ramp, and they got like, I don't know, about 25, 30 people that work around the place. What they do, they separate everything that runs up through the conveyor belt, like the aluminum, plastic, paper, whatever it is, whatever they can recycle, to help keep the world going. And the rest of the stuff, they got like a big incinerator with the big pipe runs, probably hundreds of feet up in the air. So when they burn that extra stuff, it goes way up in the air and kind of help not saluting the place, And that's the way they got rid of, the recycling stuff and the garbage that they don't need. Is that something sort of like what you're planning on doing?
Well, some of it, like the metals and stuff, no, but I figured I would use a lot of that and turn it into biodiesel so we can get more bang for the buck out of it. A little more energy production out of the materials. But yeah, no, when I was in Florida, I was amazed at how they handled the trash. They would put it up and, they would collect natural gas out of it too as the stuff was breaking down. It's amazing. But yeah, anything we can't turn into biodiesel, if we can burn, then we'll do that. I'd prefer not to burn it, because we're trying to harvest carbon, not produce it. But if that comes down to it, instead of bringing it back and putting it in a landfill, we can use it for fuel. I would imagine. I would think.
That's true. That's what they do too. Because at the landfill, like we dump at the landfill on the ground, we got these big, huge mountains of garbage, with layers and layers of stuff between them, and then we got these gas lines that runs underneath the hill, and they produces gas because the garbage and stuff, it generates heat, and it goes right into those pipes and goes right into the line and goes right into the tanks wherever they got them running to.
And we won't have tanks sitting around long enough to produce the methane, but anything we can do, if it's going to get burned when we, if we can't take care of it and handle it out at sea and we're going to bring it back and it's going to get burned anyway. Well, if it's going to get burned, we might as well turn it into energy and propel the boat, make electricity, run the equipment on the ship, things like that. I want to try to use everything if possible.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, that was my question. I just had that little bit to say. Thank you, Milo.
All right. Thank you, Roy Davies. Thank you so much. Okay, let me, we have some attendees that have their hands raised, but they don't have their country by. So Vincent Joseph, you need to put your country by your name. Mr. Hossein, you need to put your country by your name. And Umesh Nai, you need to put your country by your name. All right, and we'll bring you on to the panel. If you can't do it, Lynn, why don't we just bring them onto the panel, and if give them a couple minutes to put their country by it. If they don't, then we'll send them back to the attendees. But I think some people have said that they can't put their name on there till they come to the panel.
Yes. And then BD for Faraj Hussein means Bangladesh. So he has his country there.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Greg. Dave, that's good stuff, man, what you're talking about, this could even become something that we could do, at the line fields, like Roy was talking about. We could set up someone could set up a place there with the same thing in mind that you're talking about, where they could separate that trash, and here again, you could build a building or whatever, and all of a sudden you take it over there and you produce all these parts, for people, or even some medical parts that maybe are expensive for the elderly, or canes and stuff like that people will do. We'll be able to do that because we can, and we're providing jobs, so I really I like this stuff. I like what's coming about of it. So all right, we don't have any hands raised at the moment. Is there anyone else that wants to jump into this? If not, we're going to move to something else. All right, going once, going twice, going 3 times and gone. Mr. David, we're going to go back to you. Let's talk about, we got another project. I don't even remember what it was. You had a whole bunch of them, but remember I said, hey, in case we got time, let's go into this one. You remember what that was?
Yeah, you were talking about my children's projects, what I want to do with the kids.
All right, let's go there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great things, a lot of great programs and stuff for kids. Like the Toys for Tots through my company. What I want to do is put around a lot of bins and things, kind of like the Marine Corps. I used to work at a tattoo shop when I was doing my apprenticeship, and we used to do Toys for Tats. You come in, you donate an brand new unwrapped toy, and we gave you a coupon, for money off of a tattoo. So it was things like that. But I want to just collect this stuff, and during the year, what I would like to do is send some people out, create more jobs, send some people out to all these hospitals and orphanages and places where there are all these children with needs, find out, boys, girls, see if we can, if it's possible to get a list of ages, and I don't need names, but ages and, male, female, so we can match them up with some toys. But I figured through the company, what we couldn't collect through the year, what the company would do is just go out to a toy store and just buy half the store, load up a couple of semis and go, hand them out, so all the kids can have something on Christmas. I'm a Freemason, and what we do is work with the Shriners hospitals, so we're helping a lot of kids with cancers. I really want to, help add to that. Help try to save a lot of kids' lives. We got a lot, enough people going around trying to kill kids, abort them, and do all this, horrific stuff to children nowadays, and it's disgusting. I want to help them. Another thing is that's on my mind, really warms my heart, is the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I love what they do. I would love to be able to go around to different hospitals or places where, children have cancer, or their lives are going to be shortened severely. And let's see, as long as they're healthy enough and it's a safe enough thing that we can do, let's let them live their dreams. If they've got such a short amount of time, let's help them get the most out of it. Let's give them the most bang for their buck for the amount of time that they got. Most of us, we have a natural measure of life. We can have our ups and our downs. These kids, they don't really have the time for that. So if they're here, let's see if we can help them. And along with the farming, that's another thing I wanted to do, was with all this food, I want to pay farmers not, to not grow on their yard. I want to pay them a, secure salary every year, so they grow everything that they possibly can, so we can get as much food as we possibly can, and we can help feed these kids as well. Takes, give them free food for the hospitals and stuff like that. It could reduce their bill. They'd be able to get a lot more medical help. And I want to jump on board. I forget who it was. There was this wonderful lady talking about, going out and helping pay people's hospital bills. We'd like to get something set up so that we can help take care of that, for kids with cancer and leukemia and all these different things, that with these exorbitant, crazy numbers, you want to stay alive, you got to pay me this. Well, okay, if that's what you're going to, hold them hostage for money, well, we'll see if we can get you money and keep these kids alive, So that's kind of what I want to do, is help keep them alive, help make their life a little better, and put a smile on their face. Let them know that somebody cares. You sit in an orphanage. My grandmother was adopted. You sit in an orphanage, you don't know that anybody even thinking about you, let alone cares about you. you know, and you come out and you get very low, you get depressed, you start spiraling on the inside, you know, you figure the world doesn't care because mom and dad dropped you off here. You know, I just want to make them know that they count. They're important. They're the future. You know, it's a lot of the greatest people that ever happened in this world came from adversity and troubles and tribulations. And you know what? A lot of these kids could grow up to be the diamonds that save a country, save a state, or even just save their neighbor. You know, they'll probably be a positive impact. And we just need to nurture them that way and help bring them around.
Absolutely, Dave. I love what you said there. And let me throw this out there to you. What if we had an engineer or something design something that we could 3D print, say cars or different kind of things, dolls or whatever, and we use this project that you got going that will fund that. Now you can give that away to them, but and also, like I said, I like to think a little different than we used to. So with these kids with the cancer and stuff. Now this is very dear to my heart. In fact, I know what it's like to pull up to the drugstore and they tell me it's $800, and I say no, I said I got insurance, and they say no, that's the copay. And I go, what? Now I have to make a decision. Do I pay my mortgage or do I buy the medicine? It's going to be the medicine, right? Because the person you love. And I've heard terrible stories about these parents of these kids who have, you know, things, and the insurance company won't pay for it because it's this, and they have to pay for it. And it's just terrible the way some of the things go. So I love your point there. But now let's talk about giving the person a fish or giving the person a rod and reel and letting them do the fish. So what if we go in there and we find out, okay, say St. Jude's Hospital, you know, we put a fund in that's the St. Jude's Hospital. And guess what? We fund that thing, and we could do it as a group. We can do it individually. But I mean, if we did it as a group, just think how it would grow and how it would help people. So we put St. Jude's in there and we say, you know what? Here's the deal. We're going to fund this thing, and we want you to take one of these spots or whatever, give it to them so that they've got the money to pay it, and it will pay off over time. St. Jude's going to get their money, you know, over time, but these people will, because of other people coming in, it's going to fund their account. You see what I'm saying? Now, when that all's paid up, guess what? They still can live peaceably, and we can change the world that way, I believe. Do you agree with me?
And maybe we could work with the hospital, you know, if we set them up with accounts there, that'll just keep feeding into the hospital. They can offer free services. You come in, we will take care of you. Why? Because we have benefactors paying for it in the background. You don't have to worry about it. Calm down, be happy, and survive. You know, that's all you have to worry about. Maybe we can do something like that even.
Absolutely. And that will change, believe me. If you go into a hospital like that, because when you go in, there's this mindset of, how am I going to pay for this? What's insurance going to cover? What's this? What's that? And you know, I think it's something that you know, hey, the insurance sometimes will tell you what you can and what you can't do. And I don't think this should be a point that they get more money just because we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? I think this is going to change. I think the correction to the corruption. So
yeah, I mean, and the medical is corrupt. I remember one time I had a heart attack and I wound up collapsing, going to the hospital in an ambulance, the whole 9 yards. Doctor came in, everything was just superficial, didn't even look at me, wants me to stay for a week. I was like, look, I don't even have insurance. Well, you can't leave. Well, no, I can't afford to stay, so I'm leaving. Well, you can't leave. I'm afraid you're going to die. I was like, well, then you're going to have to talk to the insurance companies, because people, you know, it's just criminal. People can't afford it. You know, so if I die, thank you very much. It's your fault. Have a nice day. And I walked out. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, there's no health care anymore. There's no curing anybody. And it's disgusting. It's all symptom management to keep big pharma going, and to keep you on the proverbial tit so that you know, they can keep draining your wallet.
All right, Dave. Hey, Dave. So let's go back to what we were talking about. Okay, so let's just put in perspective how this would work. Okay, so we go to St. Jude's and we say, St. Jude's, look, we're going to create this fund. You know, we're going to call it an endowment fund or whatever, but we're going to put spots in there. And when those spots come, you know, they will pay for all the stuff that you need. You know, it's going to pay for it. Not only that, you're going to be getting all this money underneath you. So now Milo says, hey, you know what? Sorry. I agree with this. I think we should do this. I buy a spot and then I start buying more spots and putting other people under it. And Dave Rosalsky does the same thing. And Lynn Nakamoto does the same thing. And John Barilla does the same thing. Alan G does the same thing. And all of a sudden, all these people are underneath it. Guess what's happening to St. Jude's Fund? It's growing, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing, right? So now they take that money and they buy spots underneath. And when someone needs a spot, they give it out. They give it out. It's like an endowment fund. Do you see how this would grow and how it would expand? And so now now you're into the second generation where you have cancer patients helping cancer patients. You think they're not going to pay back? Yes, they're going to pay. They're going to say, man, St. Jude's did this for me. I'm all in. I'm buying some spots. They buy some spots. And guess what? They're even being blessed more, but it's blessing the people, all the people above. You see how that works? So I think as we come together and we collaborate on these type of things, I believe that anything we want to do can be funded that way. Number one, because it's all AI. And AI will drive traffic to it and will put people there that are interested in the same thing we're interested in. So that, you know, I think is going to make a big difference. And I think it's going to make a big difference because, you know, you might not be as passionate. I might not be as passionate as Dave Rosalsky about the ocean, but I do like what he's saying. So why wouldn't I fund that? Why wouldn't I put a spot in? You understand what I'm saying? Does this make sense to everyone?
Absolutely.
I love the thing about the children too, you know, and the Make-A-Wish Fund. How cool would it be to give them a spot that's already got $10,000 in it or whatever, that they can go spend whatever they want, and they can buy spots underneath it if they wanted to keep growing it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, just pay it forward and keep helping everybody. Everybody will help each other, and before you know it,
absolutely. There's a song by Clay Walker, if you've never heard it, one of my favorite songs. It says, "Don't let the chain of love stop with you." And it's about a story, and I cry almost every time I tell this, so I'm not going to tell it. You go watch the story, but it's about a guy on the road, and it ends up he helps a lady with a tire, and she goes into a restaurant, helps a pregnant waitress. And then that night, that waitress jumps in the bed of the guy who changed the tire. It's just amazing. Watch the song. You'll love the video. It's called "Don't Let the Chain of Love Stop with You." It's got one of the best hooks ever in it. It's just a great song. All right, let's see. Do we have anyone else want to talk about what we just talked about? Come on, hands. Anybody got a hand to raise? You want to talk about it?
I would like to say something
Go
about,
ahead, Lynn.
yeah, I wanted to say that I believe that right now, people may not see the power of ONPASSIVE and the system that we have in it. You know, it's a genius created it. And who is that genius? It's Mr. Mafara. And it's designed to spread joy and happiness and help humanity. It's just a beautiful thing. So when you talk about getting spots for people, that is just powerful, Milo. You know, as we get more and more income, or apples as we call it, we'll have that ability to get spots for people and organizations and etc. And if the people in our teams do the same, it's called the power of compounding. My goodness, right? That is just going to be an unbelievable effect on this entire world. So, you know, maybe we say, well, there's only 1 million+ founder positions. It's not that many, compared to the billions of people on this earth. But those 1.4 million founder positions, if they do what you say, Milo, which is to buy spots, it's going to mushroom, going to be humongous, and our effect will be felt around the world. It will be a global quake, in my opinion. So thank you for explaining that, Milo, because I think when people get that concept of getting spots with the income that you already earned, you're not coming out of pocket, Milo, you're coming out of the earnings, and everybody can feel free and comfortable to do that. This company is going to take this world to a different planet, man.
Absolutely. And I believe that, you know, without a doubt. And that's why I say, you know, that one person, we might not be able to change the world, but we can change somebody's world. And all we got to do is change a person's world, and they start changing a person's world. And it's got what you call that compounding effect. And I've told this story many times. If I come to you and I said, hey, I got $1 million right here, but I've got a big jar here, and I'll give you the $1 million, or I'll put a penny in that jar, and the next day I'll double it, and the next day I'll double it again, and I'll keep doubling it for a month. What would you take?
The penny.
Absolutely, because the penny over time, if you calculate it out, by the time it hits day 30, it's over $5 million. But what happens on day 31? It's $10 million. This is what happens with our, you know, generational, what's the word I'm looking for?
Residual income.
Yeah,
Passive income.
now they commission. So
Commissions.
your commission, you get a commission. Okay, we're not worried about who's in it or whatever. You just know you get a commission. Okay. Now think of this. Just let me put this to you. What if the company just brings in 3 per month? Okay, which, you know, I don't know if they'll bring in that, but even if they don't, you know, do you think you'll bring in 1? Do you think someone else will? Let's just go 3 per month. Do you know if you take your calculator and you put how many people you have in right now, and you calculate times 4, and you do that every month, 4 times every month, that's going to tell you how many commissions you're going to get roughly, if there's 3 come in, which I think, you know, there will be. And this is why when Ash says, hey, you're not dreaming of big enough, I look at the numbers and go, Jesus, oh man, I'm not, but my little mind cannot really comprehend it all. It really can't. And I look at those numbers now. I heard Ash say the other day, he said, let's say that you only get $10 per commission. Do you realize that's 10 times what I just said? 10 times. Now, do you think that a person will only have one product? No, you're going to buy every product. There's 10 or 12 products, and every month for, I think he said 3 years, there's going to be 2 more added per month. Do you realize we're getting a double a raise of, you know, two products? Everyone that's in our organization that we're getting commission from, now we're going to get 2 more per month just off of that. It's going to explode, people. It's going to explode, you know, and it just blows my mind when I look at those and I say, man, this just can't be true, you know. But you know, I don't know if I'm thinking wrong or whatever, but I think I'm thinking right, you know, because that's what the numbers say, you know. And I play around with it. So anyway, let's see who we got up. We got Mr. Alan G. Come on down, brother, and talk to us.
Hi, Milo.
There you go. Hey,
How you doing?
good.
Just on that numbers thing, in the Go Founders, they had that bonus calculator. I don't know if you ever had a look at it. And they said, based on a 3 by 3, so you got 3 people coming in, and you get 3 every level coming in. If you have 2 cycles a year, and 2 cycles every month, so you got 6 cycles a year. The first year you have just over 1,000 people in your organization. after the second cycle, which is now 12 cycles, you have 797,000 people. And after the 15 cycles, which was what, another quarter year down, you had over 21.5 million people in your organization. This is the power of numbers.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Which calculator were you talking about, Alan?
In the Go Founders, they had the bonus calculator where they,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And now when you think about what you just said, you're talking about what the company's gonna do, right? We're not
Yeah.
talking about if you bring in one, or if you tell someone about it and you bring them in, or the guy above you tells someone about it and it happens to fall to you, or the person, one of the people that came in, they happen to tell someone. Do you realize, people, that there's companies out there, I know guys out there that have millions of people in their downline in other companies, MLMs or whatever. Do you realize when they see this and they see the power of it and they get in, and it could be under you, we don't know, whether, even if you don't invite them, they try to come in. Remember, they're going to come in through, AI in, and it's on a rotator. If it comes under you, guess what? You can wake up the next morning and have 100,000 people underneath you, or not underneath you, I'm sorry, commissions. You're going to have 100,000 more commissions. And guess what? That's gonna, okay, go ahead. What's
I'm just
that?
saying that, I was in quite a few MLMs, and I've got quite a few people that have got big lists. And I'm going to, once it starts, I'm going to start sending out the network and the OMO and see what they can do there. And maybe I'll get a couple of them coming in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, this is one thing that I think is happening is when we get the product, we get the OML, we get the ONET. Okay, those are huge things for us, because remember, when we come in as a founder, what was our thing? We were coming in to Go Founders, get a little platform, a little product, but the main thing was we was going to have a chance to build our team before it launched. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this, I believe, is what Ash is coming about with the bonus and stuff, is you're going to get that chance to send out that old mail that has autoresponders, has chat box, you can text out of it. It's got, all kinds of safety features built in it. You can hit, if you're a marketer and these guys got 1 million emails, guess what? They hit the button and boom, it goes to them all, because they have, they're already signed in with them. So they signed out, so they can get it out very quick. Do you know that right now it probably takes them, let's say they got, like if you're with Gmail, I think you can send out 500 emails, maybe 6 hours or 8 hours, something like that. You can buy other packages, I'm sure, that, will send out 50,000 per hour or something. But do you realize how many hours you have to sit there to send those products out, or to send that email out, as opposed to just hitting a button and 1 million goes out or 2 million goes out? It's a big difference. People will get just for that. Now, if you happen to send it to someone and guess what? They get that, that's on you, man. It's going to come underneath you, and because if they sign up, remember, that's why I think it's important on this, this, till we hit this last run, this last sprint to November 20th, it's so important to get your stuff out, get out as many as you can to, to ONetwork, and to OMail, because remember, if they come in, they sign in with your name, they're tied to you for life with that email.
Absolutely. Okay, that's all I've got at the moment.
Okay, makes sense. All this stuff, man, when you really think about it, it's like we are set up. Mr. Ash Mafaro has set us up in this beautiful place that there's no way we can fail. We don't have to know, really, we don't have to know anything, but we just share with people, because remember, and I don't even think you're even going to have to share with them. If you've just said, if you put on your Facebook page or something, hey, you should check out ONPASSIVE, and people know you're in ONPASSIVE, they're going to be looking for you, because remember, when there's billions of people trying to get in on passive, they have to find a founder, unless they go in through the website, and then they will come in under a founder anyway. I think most would rather come in with someone that they're familiar with. All right. Let's see. I did see a hand up. Who was that, Lynn? Someone had their hand up. I see it's down.
I don't know.
All right. Anyone else? I know there was a name. Eric Kessler, was yours up earlier?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about what you were talking about, helping people. Another thing that we got to realize too is when we buy people positions and they learn how to, and the company brings people in for them, well, there's going to be a bonus position given. Now, we haven't come out with how many amount, but if you have, say, 100 personal people come in, they're going to give you 3 more positions. So that's going to take your positions up to 4 or whatever. And I don't know how many times he's going to repeat that. If it's just going to be one time, or if it's going to be for every, say, 100 or 150. Now, these are just numbers I'm making up because there's
Right.
no numbers given yet. But we all know that that's going to be a bonus thing that's going to happen. So those positions that we give hospitals or whatever are going to multiply on their own also. And everybody underneath them, it's going to multiply into them, you
Right.
know, and those are going to be positions that you don't even have to do anything. The company's going to manage those. So that's another thing. And, you know, you got to throw in the pot there too.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just so many pluses to this that, you know, I can't even think of them, but it blows my mind when I try to, you know, and I realize that I'm not thinking big enough. And I think, wait a minute, no, I'm thinking as big as I can, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, I realize that, you know, there's more. There's always more with ONPASSIVE, it seems like, you know, and I say a lot of times, I say, you know what? I don't think any of us have to save a rainy day fund no more, because it's going to rain into your wallet every day. Every day it's going to rain into your wallet. So if you get this much on the 8th of the day, 8th day of the month, you get this much. Well, guess what? Next month, you might as well know that you're going to make more than that. So you will
Yeah.
know where you're at, you know, by the month, because remember, this is all computer driven. And if it's there, you agree, Eric?
Yeah, I do. And I also remember Ash saying that not for people not to worry that can't do marketing and that don't have any teams or whatnot, which is me. But because he's going to do advertising that makes sure he's going to bring all boats up. He's going to bring those people that don't have anybody. He's going to do special marketing for them. That's what he said,
Right.
that he's going to help build their teams, right? So people that only have one, don't start sweating and don't feel bad about yourself. You know, right now for me, it's because I was in so many things and nobody wants to hear what I have.
Yeah.
It's not like I haven't talked to anybody. But
Eric,
once the apples start rolling in, things are going to change. And you will, you know, it sounds like a cliche, but you will become the hunted. You will be, because they're going to see your life change. They're going to see your attitude change. You're going to be able to go to them. They're going to say, "Are you making any money?" "Oh yeah, am I making money?" And I mean, "Am I making money?" And they're going to go, "Oh, really?" And it's like, okay, well, tell me about it. No, I'm not going to tell you about it. You go watch this video and then you come back with specific questions. Well, I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, well, see ya. I got to get going. I'm not going to sit here and wait on you. Because how many of us have done that in the past? Just basically begged anybody that would watch what we had to watch. Give them promises just to get him to watch what we'd have to watch. Well, okay, I promise I'll watch it. And of course, they never did. But our attitudes are going to change. It's going to be, okay, well, I don't really need you because my company's building this for me. And next month, I'm making more than I'm making now. And I'm making more now than I ever have. And so, bye, see if it's not right for you. Call me and then maybe I'll talk to you. I don't know. You know, I'm not saying you have to be an ass, but you can be uh, not arrogant, but I don't know what the word is. Confident
Yeah,
in your
confident.
confident in your situation. Because it's going to happen for everybody. It's not going to just happen for the big marketers that are leaders on the leaderboard. They work for what they got. They deserve it. But on pass is not just going to happen just for them. It's going to happen for everybody that's in on passive. Everybody is going to win. And that's what Ash promises. So if you don't feel comfortable going out and talking about it now, then don't. But when it comes time and you start making money, you will tell everybody because you won't be able to keep your mouth shut. And also, you will do like Marty says, and what we all talked about is buying more and more marketing. Every penny you got, stick it back in there. Buy more marketing. That's going to explode your business. And say you don't have any more than one position. Well, there's not going to be anything stopping you from buying as many resale positions as you want. You're going to get the same benefit as a founder. You already got your founder position. You're going to reap that benefit. You don't need 1,000 founder benefits. You got one, that's all you need. But you can go out and start purchasing more and more reseller positions, and then more and more marketing on top of that. Pretty soon, especially for all of us, say 18,000 or whatever that are really locked into this thing, we're going to have this advantage over these people who are just sitting back seeing what's happening. Because we're going to know, hey, I'm buying more marketing. I'm going to buy more reseller positions. They're going to sit back and go, oh, I'm starting to make money. What do I do with it? Because they haven't paid any attention. Everybody here has paid attention, and everybody here is going to do great. Just great. They are. I mean, it's true. I know it's true. So yeah, I don't feel comfortable about going out and talking to people I know now because I've tried it too much in the past. But boy, when I'm making money, everybody that I ever breathed on is going to know about it. So
Right.
that's where I'm coming from.
Hey, Eric, that is great, man. You nailed it right on the head. Those of us that are in right now, we're tuned in and we're plugged in. We know, and I've been saying for a while, hey, and I put out that Google sheet that, hey, make sure you're filling it out. And if you don't have 1,000 names or things that you want to do right at the beginning, you're going to be behind. I truly believe that. I think that it's going to come much quicker than we think. We can leave them right in your wallet and you can let those apples in there, but I'll tell you, if you leave them in there too long, they start getting soggy and stuff and everything else, because you don't need them. Just keep them going out.
Working.
And you're talking about, buying positions or putting positions in. I plan on doing a lot of them. I'll have a ton of reseller spots. And even if, let me just say this, I think even if you don't know where you're going to do it, man, when the money comes in, start putting spots in. Once you're taken care of, I'm talking about once you're all comfortable and everything, you start taking care of it. And guess what? Those spots will start to build. You start to bring people in under them. And then all of a sudden you're out and you say, man, you need to come on, and it's someone that really needs help. Hey, guess what? Give them one of those resellers.
Absolutely.
Because it's already got money in it. So it's got money there that will get them kickstarted, but it keeps coming all the time. And guess what? It's going to build you too. Also, so if you give somebody, and I don't, if you know they're not going to do anything, they don't want to do whatever, be mindful of that. But here's the truth. Even if you give them a spot, I don't care if it's a homeless on the street. And and I've been thinking, how am I going to deal with this? Because I always want to give people stuff. But I think about it and I say, I want to some way make up a card that says, hey, call this number, and make them make an action. So they call that number and say, we'll take care of you. And then, maybe some of these spots that has $100 on it, say, you know what, here's the deal. If you got a computer, you got a phone, yes. Okay, you go here and you put this password in and then I turn that over to them. Change it to their password or whatever. Now they have a little bit of money in it, but also letting them know that, hey, you should do the same thing that I just did for you. In other words, don't let the chain of love stop with you. And I think a lot of those people, you will find out that, man, once they get blessed, especially the ones that have, because all of them don't deserve to be where they're at. You know, that circumstances and stuff happen.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
all of a sudden you give that person a second chance or whatever. What are they going to do? They're going to go out and they're going to give all these other people, man, second chances, you know? And I don't know if you've ever seen the video where the guy goes out and he's got money and stuff. And he says, hey, buddy, he says, here, let me give you 500 bucks. He gives the guy 500 bucks. What does the guy do? He goes to the store. He buys a lot of his homeless friends food and stuff, goes down and passes it out. Now, that's heart. That's passion. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see this happen, you know, and I think we will, because like Ash said, you know, I might not be able to change everybody's world, but I can change somebody's world. And then ONPASSIVE is changing the world one person at a time. And it started with Ash Mufaro. And every one of us are benefiting.
Another thing you could do, Milo, once your apples start coming in and you got plenty of money, which is going to happen, those people that you're helping, buy extra marketing for them. Just pay for it. It's going to come back to you anyway.
You're exactly right.
More than likely, it's a tax deduction for you. It should be, you know. So buy extra marketing for them. Buy all the extra marketing that you can get, because we're talking about targeted marketing. We're talking about maybe at least a 20% comeback on the people that see what you have are going to buy. We're thinking that, right? Something like that.
Great idea, Eric. You could even tie that to an incentive that, hey, you know what? If you go out there and you tell 10 people about it or whatever, and you see this guy's really doing it, then pour it on him, man, and make him feel good, because it's going to make you feel good too.
Exactly.
You know? And it's so much better to give than to receive. You know, people said that forever, but once you start giving, there's just a joy in it, and all of a sudden it becomes easier and easier and better and better, you know. And we don't need to be greedy. I mean, we got all we need, you know, and we can do whatever we want to. But remember, you know, like you know, the guy that created Apple, what was his name? Steve Jobs. When Steve Jobs was on his deathbed, I don't know if you guys have ever read it, but it's eye-opening. It's like, man, I wish I would have been kinder to people. I wish I would have helped more people out. I wish this, I wish that. And then all of a sudden he says, but guess what? Here I am. Here I am with all this money. And I can't even buy anyone to take my disease for me. How sad is that?
Yeah.
You know, to end up with your life and you go through those regrets. You know, what if you just go and you help people out and you help people out, and all of a sudden when you get to the end, you have all these things of, man, you know, I did something different in my life. You know, it's all about that middle dash. You know, it's not about when you were born or when you died, but it's what you did in between that. And
absolutely, the dash.
Yep. And I think we can all leave a legacy, you know, and like you were saying, you know, we buy other people, you know, products, or we buy them, help them out, you know, and teach them, because remember, whatever we teach them, that's all coming back to us and coming back to ONPASSIVE. That is.
Well, did you hear Dr. Bill talking last night about what they're doing? That's what they're doing. They're designing this thing to teach people what to do once they become resellers, and all the steps to take. And I think once he gets that going, he should pass that out, and we should all get into that. You know, have a school or whatever, put it out on Academy. This is what you do after you become a reseller. You know, this is what what you could do to build your business more or whatever. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
For people that's never heard of it.
Right. And I agree with you on that. You know, there's a lot of things that I think about, you know, that blows my mind, that I can tell you about. You know, what about insurance? What about your mortgage? You know, one of the first things I said when I got into it, and, you know, I'm thinking, how's this going to help me in the residual income? Well, this will be cool, because if it really works, like they say, I want to be debt free. I want to change my life. And now all of a sudden I say, wait a minute, I'm not thinking right for me. Now, you can do whatever you want to. I'm going to just tell you what I think. I'm not thinking right, because if I have a mortgage I just put in a spot, and all of a sudden that spot every month pays my mortgage. But what happens is it grows bigger. What do I do with that spot? I just buy more spots underneath it. Now I've got more money coming in. I might want to buy another house. I might want to do something. It can be called housing expense, whatever, but we have to start thinking a little bit different than we used to think, because we're going to have so much more. What about insurance? You thought about car insurance? I thought of car insurance. I got a 2013 van. I'm going to get a new one, but I got a 2013 right now. And guess what? I pay my car insurance. I don't even know what it is. $300 a month or something. 280. I don't know, because I live in Nashville, and I drive Uber. So it's out. So what happens what is that car insurance about? Number one, it's to protect the people that you're driving or the property or whatever. That's called PLPD. The rest of it all goes to that it will pay for that van. If I have a wreck, it'll pay for it, or it'll buy me a new one, right? So instead of taking that 281 that goes in every month, because now guess what? I don't care if my van gets wrecked, I got the money to cover it, right? So what happens now? I just take that $200, I put it back in there, and I grow that insurance spot, right? You can do it with housing insurance. You can do it with anything. And all of a sudden, you don't really need the insurance, because you don't need to be protected that you need a new car. You know what I'm saying? You got it. So when we start changing our mind thinking, and I think this is some of the things that will change the corruption, because now you're not bound by all this different stuff. And all of a sudden, your house, you're using other people's money. You're using that bank's money. You're turning it around on them more or less, that, what they did for years to you. Now you're doing it to them, because you got the money, and remember, you're probably paying what is insurance or interest rate now? 5-7% most places, maybe 8. It might be going up, but let's say under 10%. Do you think that money's not going to make you more than 10% a month or 10% a year in ONPASSIVE? It will.
Right.
It'll
Yeah.
make-
So for everybody that doesn't have a lot of money, can only get one position, you're going to be fine. But a good rule of thumb is, when you start making in the apples and they start coming in, spend what you have to. Yes, of course, pay those bills, but every cent you got, reinvest that in ONPASSIVE. There's not going to be any better investment in the history of the world than reinvesting. Don't go out and look for gold coins and all that junk. Reinvest in ONPASSIVE. Buy that extra reseller position. Put that money into extra marketing. And then, because that's what's going to explode it for you. If you start with one and you can barely get in, do what you can, but every time you get a chance to put back into ONPASSIVE, put it back in there.
You're
It just makes sense.
You're exactly right, Eric. And it's kind of like that example we gave about you got the penny, and the next month you double it,
Yeah.
and next month you
Exactly.
double that, and all of a sudden this thing becomes so big, and that's why when you think about I'm going to bring in 3 per month, it's not going to be, for me, I don't think it'll be 3. I think it'll be thousands, and hopefully pretty soon 10,000s and 20
Yeah.
and millions, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, what is that doing? It's creating more. Hey, listen, it is about time that we need to start wrapping it up. So Dave Rosalsky, I would like to thank you for coming on, man. It was an awesome job. Thank you so much. Dave, you want to come down and say something real quick, closing statement?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, thanks everybody for listening. I just got ideas, and I figure the more people that hear them, I might be able to drum up some interest, and who knows, maybe some extra help. So, thanks everybody. And if anybody's got any extra ideas that you want to throw in there, we can compound this and make it that much better. By all means, please. If you've got ideas of your own, you want some extra help, I got lots of ideas myself. So anybody wants to work together, I'm here and happy to do it.
All right, Dave, I appreciate that. And Dave, I'm going to tell you right now, I am supporting your group. Okay, so let's talk, let's set up a thing, and let's start bringing people underneath it when it launches. Okay, that's going to fund it. That's going to get you off to a fast start. It's going to fund it right away. And anybody else on here that wants to do that, man, be ready, because watch for Dave Ocean Reclamation or whatever projects we have. They'll be coming up, and join them. You know, you got a few extra little bits. You know, you can join, and all of a sudden, not only is it helping Dave and that reclamation project, it's helping you also, and it will build really fast. All right, thank you again, Dave. That was an awesome show. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much. All right, Mr. John Barilla, come down with the closing remarks.
Sure. You know, from what I just heard, I would just say, you know, Dave, I heard Ash say it was just, you know, one of the ones where he surprised us, where we were supposed to have the canceled corporate webinar, and then he came on that night, just last night or whatever it was. But anyway, he mentioned about how Oh Bless is going to have something built in there already with categories of things that we can donate to. I'm thinking that you're going to be able, excuse me, to get your project, once you get it really organized and set up and what it's doing, what it's about, you'll be able to have that approved, and that could be one of the things that'll be listed in Oh Bless for us founders, that we can automatically see in there. Oh, let me give this $300, or let me give this. So you should think about that too. You're going to get people involved with this just from looking at Oh Bless. When we get it, we're going to see it, and you know, just keep that in mind. You're going to be able to put something together that'll be listed in Oh Bless, I believe. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I but I glazed right over me. That's why I'm going to listen to Ash a couple of times. Yeah, no, I forgot that. Yeah, awesome. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Thanks. Hey, Eric, come on down. You gave a whole lot of points. Any last closing points you want to make, Eric?
No, I'm good. I appreciate this forum and the chance for us all to come out and speak. I know everybody's going to do great here. I appreciate you, Milo. I appreciate Lynn. I appreciate you, John, for all your hard work. Um, Basically, I just support you. But I love y'all, and I really don't have anything else to say except that I'm feel awful fortunate to be part of this magnificent company and all the people that's involved with it.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. I want you to think about maybe putting together a project. You know what I'm talking about, because I would love to support you. My heart's with you, brother.
Yeah, that might be down the road piece, but I'll definitely get something together. Things are going to explode, and I'm going to be so out there like we all are. So, you know, down the road, I do plan on getting something together. So.
All right, sounds good. All right, Marcine Himmelboo, come down and say a couple words.
Thank you, Milo, and I appreciate David Rosalsky from USA. That was a great presentation, and I love the presentation about the children toy. That one was like just blow my mind. Yeah, it's something that when the project come out, I might think hard to see if I can be involved with him, because that project he go very far. And I was thinking about the children from Africa when he was talking about the project. And I was listening with my sister here, and I told her, do you know that we don't even have children's hospital in back home? And she said, girl, we don't even have our own hospital for adults. Now you are asking children's hospital. So imagine. So, so I mean, we really have a lot to do, and I'm so happy that I'm part of a founder of ONPASSIVE, and we will have the opportunity to do so many things, particularly for those children that they are on their own. Thank you, Milo, for the platform. It was a great webinar. Thank you, Auntie Lynn, John, Eric, and all the other presenters. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marcian, for all you do. Hey, I see a hand up, Momodu. We are closing down, but I tell you what, I'm gonna turn it over to you because you come all the time. Take 2 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Milo, good evening. Good evening to you all, Miss Lynn. Thank you for allowing me just to say few words. I'm a man of few words. I just want to applaud all the speakers and also make a small contribution as to how we should reinvest whatever we get from ONPASSIVE. You know, I haven't seen nothing out there that I can trust. The only area or avenue that I can reinvest my whatever I receive is ONPASSIVE. Because what I have seen, I've been in this nursing field and see how they treat people. You be in any insurance or anything. When the time comes, when you need them, they will not be there for you. So the only avenue I trust is ONPASSIVE. So if I have to invest whatever I have, I will invest it with ONPASSIVE because I know I will get it back 100%. That's what I want to just to contribute and add to the previous speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Momodu. Thank you so much. And the one thing that ONPASSIVE and Ash always adds is value. It's all about value, what we are getting.
Yes.
So it's a good thing. So thank you so much, Momodu, for being so supportive. All right, next
You're
up,
welcome.
we got Miss Lynn Nakamoto. Lynn, come down. I know you got a show coming up tonight, and whatever other shows are coming up, you let us know, and we'll be closing this thing down.
All right, so we've got Roblin Live at 10:30 p.m. tonight. And then we have tomorrow, today is Saturday. Okay, so tomorrow we have the Heroes webinar at 1:30 p.m. I don't know if we're still having the Papua New Guinea. I'm finding out if that's still a go, but Heroes is on at 1:30. I think those are the major ones coming up in the next couple of days. But I wanted to say really quickly that, you know, I appreciate this particular show, Milo, because I believe that, you know, you're able to share ideas that are very novel. It's out of the box. And when we come here, those are golden nuggets that we get from you. And we get to process that information and add our own ideas. So thank you very much for being outside of a box kind of thinker, because we all benefit from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Also, don't forget, I believe, isn't it in the back office now that Tuesday is the rescheduled
Corporate webinar. Yes, the Tuesday corporate webinar. Yeah, it's at 3 p.m. Don't miss it.
Yeah, and let me say one thing, man. If you're in ONPASSIVE, be engaged. At least go to your back office once a day. And if you haven't watched, oh wait, I need subscribers too, man. I am so far behind on subscribers. So anyone that can help me out get some subscribers on YouTube, because Kurt's kicking my butt. And you know, I mean, I barely got 100 subscribers. Man, I know more people than that watch, you know. But anyway, so if you can subscribe.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
All right, thank you, John. So if you subscribe to ONPASSIVE,
I have 16 subscribers on my YouTube because I don't put a lot out there. Well, we'll build yours.
I'm one of yours, John. I'm one of yours. So, you know, let's share them, because the truth of it is as we get on these different, as we subscribe onto them, it's going to help you too. It's going to help us all. Well, bring it around. Okay, you got it muted? All right. So one other thing, like I said, make sure you go to your back office. It's important. At this point, it is important to go to your back office every day. Click on the update button, because remember, founders, it's time to quit treating your multi-billion, not ONPASSIVE's multi-billion, your multi-billion-dollar company as a $97 expenditure. It's much more than that. It's much more than what it started out with. Make sure that you're You go in there, you're checking. Ash puts things in there. Marty puts things in there. Red, Chris Johnson, Julie, Rob and Lynn, all of them. All the leaders have things that are going in there. Make sure you check. Make sure you update. Keep yourself in the know. That's important. All right. Thank you so much for coming to the show today. And it is time to close down. So good night from Nashville.
And good night from New York City. And I make videos in O Network. Watch my videos.
I love it. I do too. Thank you, John. That's a great plug. I love it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
Join us next Saturday for the Milo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Milo. Good night from Houston, Texas.
All right. Good night. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Good night, sweetheart. It's time to go. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Good night, sweetheart. We gotta end the show.
Share the love.
chia sẻ tình yêu.
شارك الحب.
Teile die Liebe.
愛を分かち合おう。
Compartamos amor.
Hozd meg a szeretetet mindenkivel.
Time of peace is coming. Everyone should sing. Better life we're loving. ONPASSIVE will bring.
Anything you need now is in one place. Fullness waiting to be yours. Nothing less than grace. Close your eyes, spread your wings. Make your dreams come true. Share the joy, share the love. Total freedom comes to you. Close your eyes, spread your wings. Make your dreams come true. You are not alone. ONPASSIVE is your home. If you believe in goodness, hear echoes from above. ONPASSIVE is here for you with great and selfless love. Join to make a paradise on earth with us together and take care of each other forever and forever. Close your eyes, spread your wings. Make your dreams come true. Share the joy, share the love. Total freedom comes to you. Close your eyes, spread your wings. Make your dreams come true. Dreams come true. You are not alone. ONPASSIVE is your home. Only love can make you hear. Only love brings happy cheer. Only love can make you see that we are safe.